Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Golia. I'm an actor, singer, and creator here in Los Angeles. And I'm so excited to be here with graphic designer and model, Serge.
Hello. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, Serge, it's so great to meet you. I'm so
Ditto.
happy to have you here. Serge goes by only Serge, which is my favorite thing right
Thank
now.
you. Thanks.
And
My parents gave me the name and I'm just, you know.
I feel like you're using it.
Of course.
The parents, but really it's your own. I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm not going to be the Mary Gilbo of
Absolutely, I hear you. So, Serge, tell me about, let's see, first of all, where were you born? And then how did you get into modeling, graphic design? How did you decide that this was going to be your passion and way to fulfill yourself in your life?
Yeah, so I'm originally Lebanese. I was born in Lebanon.
What?
And
That
yeah,
awesome.
no one can guess it. The only people that can know that can immediately tell I'm Lebanese are Lebanese people, and that's it in
Wow.
my experience.
Amazing.
Which is very odd. Everyone goes, "Oh, you're Spanish, you're Italian, you're European, you're American," for because my accent.
Right.
But I'm like, nope, you're all wrong. So yes, born in Lebanon, lived most of my life there. I currently live in Australia. Um,
Okay.
we moved here in 2007.
Wow. What time is it there?
Sorry.
What time is it?
It's 7:36 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for being
I
awake to meet with me.
may or may not have slept yet, but like
Oh my God.
I'm
Great.
G. We're all good. Don't worry about it. I have things to do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we moved here in 2007, and before I even moved, I was always been drawing because I just liked drawing a lot. And then I was always into video games. And at one point I just thought, oh, I want to like do stuff in that field, but not in terms of like making games. I just like the art a lot. And I'm like, oh, what if I did like I wanted to do something in the arts department for games, which sort of led me to like look into that. And then I found Photoshop. I'm like, oh, this is the thing that people use to make cool stuff. So I
Yeah.
downloaded it, and I just started teaching myself how to use it. And 8 years later, here I am. I've
Oh my
basically
God.
taught myself how to use the whole system.
That's
And
crazy. Photoshop is insane.
yeah, well, I taught myself Photoshop, and that sort of moved into Illustrator and all of the other apps. I know how to use them all. I basically taught myself. In school, I started taking like the media classes, the multimedia classes, and then I went to university for I think it was like a year and a half, and I did like an accelerated diploma. And the funny part was during that time, especially in my diploma, every time I walked into a new class and we were being taught something new, it's something I already knew because I had already been taught teaching
Right.
myself how to.
Yeah.
So the teacher would be like, "This is how to animate." I'm like, I know how to do it. So that university was really fun because it was really easy. I didn't really find it too hard. And I learned some new stuff there. So that was nice. And while I was doing that, so that was around 2015, I had like an epiphany where I was like, I've always wanted to be in front of a camera to doing something. I've always wanted to like do something in that regard. And I'm like, well, I would like to get into modeling. There are many barriers why society says I can't do it currently because I'm 5'2", and I'm not chiseled. I'm not whatever, and so I like to think that I use my point of difference as my originality. And
Well, and
my
I
hope, yeah,
no, you keep going.
sorry. No, my hope is that one day I can show people like you don't have to be whatever society, I guess, says you have to be to do modeling, and hopefully using that to like push a message of you can just do whatever you set your mind to, no matter what anyone says.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
all about that. And I do feel like this is the time for that. Like
absolutely.
you're catching the wave. Like there is so much body positivity and age positivity. Like we're fighting ageism, we're fighting sexism, we're fighting body
Like shaming, basically. Like,
shaming. Thank you. That's the word.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
and
the no, like and it's in so many different industries. Like it almost feels like, for me at least, it's set up in a, you can do this job, you can't do this job. Why? Well, because we said so, and I just don't like that, and I want to break that.
yeah, I'm
For
all about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
We need that. And people want to see people that look like that.
yeah. Like I would like to see somebody that looks like me.
Yes. And I want to see like how the clothes are going to look on me, not how
Mm.
they're going to look at on someone that is a lot thinner than I am. So it's like, it's
Mm.
helpful for the brand
Exactly.
too. Okay. Are you hearing us, brand?
Hello, hello.
But I think that is just wonderful. So what kind of how would you describe your art? Like what are you drawn to making as far as like the graphic design? I guess let's start with the graphic design.
Yeah, I mean, so the type of stuff that I started out with, like just learning everything, just sort of learn everything and then see what sticks type of thing. Um, I really am into photo editing. I do it for everything that I make. Usually the photo shoots that I have on my Instagram or that I post on my portfolio or whatever, I've done everything for. I'll take the pictures myself, I'll set up, do hair, makeup, whatever, and then I'll edit myself. So it started because of, the pandemic and not having any time to leave the house or being able to link up with anyone. So I was like, I've always been into portraiture and like photography. Why not just try it on myself? Yeah, so I started
Most
just
of your
doing my,
Instagram is like photos of you in like cool scenarios.
I've done all of those. That's all my work. And I'm trying to, my principle or my idea is, because I like layout design, I like logo design, I like and like most of all, I guess I like photo editing and photo manipulation. It sort of goes hand in hand with the modeling. So my idea is, I will not post on my Instagram anything unless I put in time and effort into it. So that could mean anything from making the backgrounds for my pictures, because I do that anyway, but like sometimes that means creating things that don't exist in order to like fulfill this image I have in my head of what I want the final result to be. So I do use both aspects of the things that I do sort of hand in hand whenever I create. So that's just how I, yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. And talk to me more. We touched on it a little bit, but the pandemic, I know it was so crazy for so many people, and but Australia kind of felt like it had it under control there for a minute. Like
You don't understand. It was like a flip the table type of situation. We were all of a sudden like lockdowns, because I live in Melbourne. So Melbourne, I think as of last month or something, was like rated or something, the had the most days consecutive in lockdown anywhere in the world.
What?
Mhm. So we were locked down
More
for,
than LA?
yep, in the world. So the longest lockdown ever. And it really did feel like it. We've just come out of lockdown, by the way, literally just come out of lockdown. As of last night, as of 11:59 last night, we've hit 90% double vaccinated in my state. So that means like everything is now properly open to fully vaccinated people. So that's just happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
And
wild.
it's and like we had obviously just normal like lockdown things. We had rules on what reasons we can leave the house and not leave the house. There was like checkpoints where like if you left a 5 kilometer radius, someone would be there, be like, where are you going? Do you have a permit or whatever? There was curfew. So for the longest time, at 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., you're not allowed to be out. So it was pretty wild.
That is wild. And I mean, it must have affected your mental state and like and of course like so how did your art, I mean, how to keep your creative juices flowing? Because I mean that
Well, it's been hard. Like I haven't posted in a hot second, just because I'm kind of hit a wall, like in terms of like ideas. I have an idea for something I want to do next, but all I have for it is a color, and I'm just going off the color green. I don't know what I want to do with it yet. but it'll come to me at some point. I'm just
Oh
sort
my
of,
gosh, I love that. I love hearing artists talk. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy the way that you think and your brain works.
yeah, like, because I was thinking in for my pictures, or usually that I've done blue, I've done purple, I've done pink, I've done orange, I've done red. I haven't never done touched green before as like a main color in my art. And I just want to make something that features the color green in a way. So I'm like, do I do matrix? But I don't want it to be gimmicky. I'm like, do I do? So like, I haven't really thought of something yet to like go off of, but I'm going some like cyber futuristic-y looking sort of thing. I just don't know where I'm going with it yet.
That is so cool. That is
But when there's lockdown, like I'm limited in the media that I'm consuming, like in the outside world, if that makes sense. A lot of times I get inspiration from like, because I like taking pictures as well as obviously being modeling or whatever. And I like taking pictures of buildings, just really like architecture for some reason. I've actually made a book, released
oh
that
my gosh,
last,
yeah.
yeah, for my architecture photography. And like looking at buildings sometimes gives me ideas of what I want to do. Because when I look at a building, sometimes in a certain light, I'll imagine the finished picture in my head. I'm like, oh, this picture is going to look like this, because I'll make up like a random, this is going to sound stupid, I swear. I bet I swear this is how it works. I'll see a building, right? And it's always on an angle, because of course it is. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I know what movie I'm looking at right now. Like there's a movie and there is a scene where they show that building and the main character has gone here and their relationship with this person is this. And at this
Oh my
point
gosh,
in the movie, the camera looks up to that building and this is the feeling. And then I'm like, snap. And then I go edit it on my phone.
I'm
That's
so
weird,
obsessed.
right?
No, man, that's art. That is art. That is so cool. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, thank you for sharing that.
No
That's
problem.
amazing.
I don't think
Well,
I've ever told anyone that.
oh my gosh, it's so cool. I mean, and people are gonna want to hear that because it's like I said, it's just so fascinating to me the different ways that people think and different ways
Mm,
brains work. Like your brain is like nothing I've ever heard before. And I'm obsessed with that. That's what we want. I mean, everyone has their own way of sharing things. I just think that's so
exactly.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'm so excited for you to be on the FENIX platform. This is just going to be a wonderful way for you to connect with people and for people to be able to really see your art and give back. And
Mm.
so excited for you to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. It was so good to meet you.
Ditto.
Bye.
All right, see ya.